quite a few people out here love John O'Donohue, the late, as of 2008, Celtic poet, theologian. I know several of you I've talked to love him, and he has a book called Beauty. And I love that book. And he talks so beautifully in his poetic terms about the importance of beauty in our life. And today's topic is Let Beauty Be Revealed. So for all of us right now, I just want to just see what comes up for you. There's all sorts of different ideas about beauty. When I say think of something to you that is synonymous with beauty, tell me what comes to mind. Because be very careful. Glamour isn't synonymous with beauty. Beauty and beautiful are two different things. Beauty is a God quality. And here's what John O'Donohue says. Once we awaken to the beauty which is God, there is a sense of homecoming. And why is that? He says that beauty, which is one of the major God qualities within us, is the place where the invisible and the visible intertwine. They come together. So beauty is sacred and it is holy. And it isn't a contemporary thought. Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher, he said God is beauty, intellect, and wisdom. Beauty, truth, and wisdom. Beauty means harmony with everything. It's being in that rhythm with life. Doesn't mean that everything is perfect or wonderful. In fact, beauty has to be worked on. This kind of beauty that he talks about, it has to be worked on. It's always waiting to be revealed. It's always there, wanting to make itself known in times of ignorance, which I've had an experience with recently, and negativity, even hatred and anger. Beauty wants to be revealed in the midst of those. And I'll tell you what I learned about my beauty and my experience, but he goes on to say that we knew true beauty before we were even born. And beauty stretches our souls beyond the boundaries of the ordinary, beyond the physical, into the sacred. So that's what's in all of us, this place of beauty. And as Bell Hook, a contemporary poet, says, human beings cannot live without beauty. Beauty is the thing that binds us together beyond class or race or culture or economic status or whatever it is. It binds us together. So we need to work on cultivating that beauty within, what we know that beauty is. And I'll explain. Beauty is the art of becoming. It's the art of creation. It's that divine essence in us. We call it the divine spark that wants to create, that wants to be open. So we need to open our imagination and open our hearts that we can reveal something more. Because the universe, as Meister Eckhart said, the universe shows us that God is ever creating continually on and on in the present now. It's not something that happened before. It's continually changing and working, and that's for us to do. So how do we find that beauty? Well, there was a first grade teacher, and she asked her students, what is the color of an apple? And most of the kids popped out immediately, red, and some said green, and a few said yellow, and this one little boy said white. So as a very good first grade teacher, she wanted to explain to him, well, sweetie, I understand what you're saying, but apples are red or green and sometimes golden. And he was emphatic, and he said, no, they're white. Look inside. And that's the story for us. We live in this world that's so fast and so busy, and we see a lot of beautiful things out there, and it's kind of something we strive for, things that are beautiful and shiny and new, and yet the real beauty, we have to take time to look inside. You know, the beauty, as I said, is always there, and it's that creative process that wants us to become and grow more connected to home, to life, to God, to goodness, whatever you want to call it. It's always there, but the channel can get a little dull and dark between, well, first of all, where we find that beauty is in our heart. That's the channel where it expresses in this physical world. That's where it is. Beauty must be felt. It can't be seen. It must be felt. And that channel that connects us to this infinite power actually within us can get dull and dark sometimes. And we can feel like there really isn't any beauty in the world when actually it's always there, waiting to be expressed, to be revealed, to be understood. Always. Yet in that place within us that gets dark and dim, it's dark and dim because, dang it, we judge life. We have these expectations. Anybody else? That life is supposed to be a certain way, that things are supposed to look like this, that everybody's supposed to think like us and like what we like, right? But that's not what it is. So we cloud this connective point within our heart with old beliefs we've inherited from God knows where, inherited these old beliefs that keep us stuck, or we've made up some new ones ourselves. But we need to clear those out because that light of awareness and understanding is available at any second to be revealed and understood. But it takes work, it takes understanding. Now, I think Kirk, you did a beautiful job explaining about the little accident I had last week. It was great. You explained that. And I have 3 questions I ask when things happen that are a little unexpected in life. And as Ernest Holmes says, he says, you know, there are no real accidents. There's acts of ignorance. Great. So the first thing I ask is, where was I ignorant? What did I do? No, I was going for an electric bike ride, which I love electric bikes. I mean, I've ridden on electric bikes. I love them. I wanted to own one. So that's the only thing I knew. I was ignorant that they had electric dirt bikes. Didn't know that, you know, so I was ignorant. And I looked at this happy picture on the website, and everybody looked really happy. Didn't do any, they hadn't started the ride yet, I'm sure. So that's the first question I asked. So I realized I hadn't done my homework well enough. And the next question I always ask is, where do I need to grow or change or become, or what do I need to let go of to make a greater understanding of this? You know, what do I need to let go of? Well, as I'm lying there, out there in this desert with no way to get in or out except on a dirt bike, I either could get airlifted out of there, which would have been a big pain for everybody, including me, or I could just remember the way out is through. And I had to make a good attitude and get out and go through. And so I did. And what was the blessing is the third thing. Well, the blessing was the man who does these rides, named Gary, a very kind and good man. He was quite handsome too, but he was kind and good and a really nice man. And he said, you guys go ahead with a woman he had with him, and I'm going to take Sandy back, and I'm going to get to know her. We're going to have a conversation. And that's sweet. He knew that if he took my mind off what was going on, and we'll go as slow as she wants. Well, I think I got the best ride of anybody, because all the way in, I was just trying to keep alive. You know, I didn't see any of the surroundings. And he was a paleontologist and a high school teacher for a long time, and a paleontologist, done a lot of things. And I got to see the beauty of all around and meet one of the most wonderful people. And actually, he was 74, lived a good life, 74. But when we got right back to the end, he told me, I want to tell you, I took a fall like this just about a year ago, and I broke 4 ribs, and I was in a chair for 2 months. And I said, well, that's great. And then he said, and the guy who owns the bicycle company, he's just recovering from a surgery on his shoulder because he fell too. And I went, great. You know, you learn all these things. It was wonderful. But where am I ignorant? If you're not feeling beauty in your life right now? And where are we ignorant? Where don't we know enough? What are we not seeing the bigger picture about? Because there's always something more going on. And what do you need, or I need, all of us need to let go of, become changed, so we can open ourselves, because this thing called beauty is about an open imagination and an open mind, that there's something more going on than what we see with our physical eyes. There's always something more at work. And where do we find the blessing? John O'Donohue also said, in difficult situations, always plant something beautiful in your heart. You can take that with you wherever you go. God, have something beautiful in here that we can tap into, that we can know, no matter what's going on out there, know what's in here, because that goodness, that beauty wants to express. I have a couple of questions to ask you if we're really going to be creative, because every problem everywhere always has its own solution. We have to reveal it and be open to it. First of all, I told you beauty needs to be felt. Now, I call it the God bumps. But you see, the heart is the place where we can it can spread that energy out in us, that we can feel with our whole body. It's an experience of beauty. So when I say the experience of beauty, where do you think of that? Is it a sunset you recently saw? Think of the time and all the parts that have to come together to make that beautiful sunset. Is it kindness that was recently expressed to you? What is it? Something that is that experience of beauty. So here's my first question. Do you believe that there is something greater than we are? A creative power that responds to what we think, what we do, what we feel, and what we believe. And what's your answer? Yes. Good. That's the first part. That's the first part of this whole creative process. We have to believe that there's a power greater than we are that really responds to us. We're not just running around here, not connected to anything. We're connected to something so much bigger than we are, that wants us to be creative, wants us to expand our imagination, wants us to do something more, because we're creative beings. That's number one. That's hard enough. Number two is even harder. Number two is you have to take time to commune with that knowing. You have to take time to commune with it and work with it and be quiet. The world is so busy. We have to take time and space to listen, because the answer is there. You know, in Sufism, ancient Sufi practices, there is a ritual called the remembrance ritual. And it proposes that we remember beauty, that it is a daily practice. We remember beauty in those ordinary things that are so easy to forget. They are beautiful. The remembrance ritual. Every day, remember beauty in the ordinary things that are so easy to just skim by. Do you know those that I'm talking about? The things that we walk by every day and forget to say, oh, thank you for being beautiful. Thank you for the beauty you express. Thank you for all of that. It's a remembrance ritual for us to do. How easy is it for you to take time to really be in the practice and the sacredness of beauty? Creativity, understanding, opening. The last one may even be harder, because it takes the most time and the most work and the most diligence and the most forgiveness and the most patience and the most understanding. You have to express it. That creativity within you, you've got to do it. And you know, any creative process creates chaos. It's always chaotic in creation, right? So we have to create it. We have to do it. We have to be committed to being the creativity we want. And when we fall down, get up. Remember, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up, and keep on keeping on. Are you ready? Yes. Good. We've got to keep doing that to be what we're meant to be. That's the whole entire process. Now, as Bell Hooks said, we need this beauty to keep each other alive, and we need to remind each other. We need, first of all, to awaken the beauty within ourselves. So when you want to find beauty within yourself, give the mirror a little kiss. Just give it a kiss. Just do that. Do that. Because if you can't find it in yourself, you're not going to find it in anybody else. Everybody here is beautiful, perfect, just the way you are, and the way you're becoming too. But we got to give yourself a kiss. Give yourself a hug. Be appreciative of who you are. Find that first and foremost. In that Sufi practice, what's the first thing we forget to say is beautiful? It's us. We hurry around, we find the things that are wrong, we do whatever, we forget. We make mistakes, we get up. What did we learn from that? Where do we find the blessing? All of that. It goes for all of it. But find that in yourself first, and and remember, every single person is a reflection of the creative energy, the goodness that life has for us right here and right now. St. John of the Cross said, "I did not have to ask my heart what it wanted, because of all the desires I have ever known. Just one thing did I cling to, for it was the essence of all desire, and that was to know beauty." It's a choice. We get to choose. We get to choose whoever, ever, whatever. We get to choose how much beauty we see in the world. And as Madeline said this morning, she said what Ernest Holmes said, whoever dwells upon beauty tends to become more beautiful. If we look at beauty, if we find beauty, it comes from the inside out. And I love the second part that you read. There will be a grace, a charm expressing itself through the person which no one can fail to recognize and appreciate. It's for us. But I'm going to tell you, now that I told you 3 kind of hard things to do, this one's easy. The easiest way to do the thing I just said is to love. Love reveals our beauty. Love reveals it, that we love one another. So I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes for a moment. Just untangle yourselves and just take this moment to recognize and realize the beauty of spirit is the truth of who we are. That true beauty that is God expressing itself is the truth we hold in each and every one of us. We are here as a beautiful expression of the sacred. We are here as a beautiful, holy moment in time. We are here as the life energy, this gift of life, that we are a gift to life. Right here in this moment, we are a gift to life. And as we choose to know that and claim that and be that, we know that we are love expressing, life expressing, creativity expressing. And as we take the truth and know that right where we are, love, wisdom, beauty, intellect, that is all the essence and energy that is the creative power within us. So what I know for each and every one of us is as we leave today, we allow ourselves to vibrate with more energy and power, that we claim the beautiful. We claim the beautiful is the creation that we have made of ourselves, that we claim the beautiful is the creation that we create in our environment, in our experience, because we choose to see it, we choose to claim it, we choose to know it. We also choose to know that it resides in any problem, in any difficulty, that there is something more that wants to be revealed. And I just know today that we leave with open minds and open hearts to accept the goodness that is inherent in everything always. And as I know that for you and know that for myself, I just really circle this entire world with that knowing that the wisdom and the beauty of God, of the sacred spirit right here is being revealed. Even though we can't see it yet in many places, we know that it is there. We accept it. We claim it. We say, thank you, God, for all of it. And so it is. And just on this Valentine's Day weekend, please know how much I do love and appreciate and care for each and every one of you so much. I'm giving you little sprinkles of God's love, little Valentines of God's love, just to know that we're in this together. And I'm so glad that we're partners. sacred partners on this journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you.